In my last video, part 4 of our Great Plains road trip, I got the day number wrong for the last day. I showed it as day 14, but it's actually day 14 today, and the second last day of our Great Plains road trip. We're going to visit a few places in Santa Fe this morning before we get on the road. We drive just a short distance to San Miguel Chapel, which is apparently the oldest church structure in the USA, built in the early 1600s. And there it is on the right.
That's more than those.
The building on the left is claimed to be the oldest house in America, also built in the early 1600s. San Miguel Chapel has only just opened for visitors, and there were quite a few people waiting to get in, so we're going to go across the street to the oldest house, and hopefully the number of people in the chapel will diminish while we're over there. The first room you walk into is the gift shop, but let's have a look through the house. Now let's head back across the street to San Miguel Chapel. We're going to drive around to Santa Fe Plaza now and have a look in that area.
Oh, we're going to go past our hotel.
Coming up on the right is the hotel we stayed at last night, the Inn of the Governors.
Right onto Galisteo Street. Wow, look at this.
In 600 feet, turn right onto West San Francisco Street.
This might have even been the street that she was talking about, actually, because she said there's all shops along it.
Right.
And cafes and stuff.
Right, turn left onto Old Santa Fe Trail, then your destination will be on the left.
It's an interesting town,
Your
isn't it?
destination is on the left.
It definitely is like being in Mexico.
Palace of the Governors, straight ahead.
Oh, yep, that's what she marked that too. Oh, Worrell Gallery. Oh,
Finding a place to park is proving quite a challenge.
do you want to drop me off?
After not being able to find a parking spot on the street, we park in the car park at La Fonda on the plaza, which isn't cheap, but we're running out of time. Let's use what time we have left in Santa Fe to walk around and explore. This is the Museum of Contemporary Native Arts. Fiona has headed straight for the Christmas shop, which is just down there on the right. This is the Palace of the Governors, which is also a very old building, built in the early 1600s. Traditional arts and crafts vendors line the walkway, selling their wares. This is Santa Fe Plaza, across the street from the Palace of the Governors. On the way back to the car park, I stopped at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi to have a look. Our time in Santa Fe has come to an end and we must get on the road again. We would have liked to have spent more time here, but we just had to see what we could in the time we had.
Wow.
We're getting back onto Interstate 25 now and heading east.
6 miles. Take exit 339, then turn right onto US 84.
We're exiting Interstate 25 and we'll take US 84 south and then join Interstate 40 heading east.
Nice, isn't it?
There's a couple of classic old cars we're passing.
Keeping it till when it was a cooler climate. It never really got cold. I thought, well, I'll just wear it today.
And more classic cars. We passed quite a few in recent days, but I never seemed to have the camera recording at the time.
Cars. We're doing Route 66.
Quite a few. They must be doing a trip on Route 66.
Yep, I reckon so.
Now it's back onto Interstate 40, and once again the traffic is banked up due to roadworks.
Continue on I-40 east for 18 miles.
18 slow miles.
passed the roadworks and are heading for Santa Rosa. And here's the exit. We're back on historic Route 66, which will take us into Santa Rosa. Now we're in Santa Rosa, still driving on historic Route 66. And we're going to stop for lunch, then go to a museum. We've had lunch, now we've arrived at the Route 66 Auto Museum. Let's get inside and have a look.
You do a selfie sitting down on that seat.
Oh, yeah.
It's very well done, and there's certainly plenty to look at. I don't know much about old cars, but I certainly did enjoy looking at these beautifully restored vehicles. That's it for our visit to the Route 66 Auto Museum in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Now back on the road.
It looks like a long load.
We're passing yet another train, and this is the first one we have seen with containers stacked on top of each other. We're now leaving New Mexico and crossing back into Texas, where our journey began.
I think I got it.
This also means another change of time zone, from Mountain Time to Central Time. This time our clocks jump forward an hour, so 4 p.m. becomes 5 p.m. We're exiting Interstate 40 once again, this time heading for Adrian, Texas. there's more of those beautiful wind turbines that enhance the landscape. Not. This is what we have come to see, the midpoint of Route 66.
Is on the right.
We're now halfway between Chicago and Los Angeles, or more specifically, between Chicago and Santa Monica, 1,139 miles from each. That's the Midpoint Cafe, which unfortunately is closed as it's quite late in the afternoon. But at least we've seen it.
Shop's
Continue
not
on
open.
I-40 Business Loop east for 1 mile.
We start driving along historic Route 66, and just a short distance down the road, we come across another old gas station.
A bit better to just drive through.
Yeah. I reckon this was the original. Don't you reckon?
This is called Bent Door Midway Station, for obvious reasons. Back on historic Route 66 and heading for Vega. We're driving alongside Interstate 40.
Continue straight to stay
We're now
on
in
South
Vega,
Street, then your
and we're going to
destination
visit
is
the
on right.
Magnolia gas station, which is another Route 66 attraction.
It's in there. It's
Your destination is on the right.
Magnolia gas station.
Uh-huh.
We're about to leave Vega, but first we're heading back to something I saw on the way in.
That old truck.
Not sure why there's an alien in the truck. Before we get on our way again, we're just going to drive along Main Street.
Vega. Tasty. Take and bake. Library.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto South 7th
Town
Street.
and country. Agricultural business. City Hall. Groceries.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto I-40 Business Loop, US Route 66.
38 minutes to Amarillo.
Very good. Is this the way to Amarillo?
Every night I've been hugging my pillow.
Take the next left onto I-40 Business Loop,
Guess what,
US
Maria's not
Route
waiting for you.
66.
Bonanza Motel.
Oh, well, I missed that.
Now we're back on Route 66, just for a short time.
There's another nice old station, service station. Look at that.
We need to get onto the interstate to make it to Amarillo at a reasonable time.
Continue straight onto I-40 Business East, then slide left onto the I-40 East ramp. Slide left onto the I-40 East ramp, then merge onto I-40 East.
That was the entrance to Interstate 40 we just accidentally drove past, so we need to drive on Route 66 a little further.
We're back on Route 66. You just can't get off it, can you? El Dorado, Bushland and Amarillo.
Take the I-40 East ramp on the left, then merge onto I-40 East.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making sure I don't miss the entrance to Interstate 40 this time.
Continue on I-40 East for 33 miles.
Here we're driving through El Dorado, still on Interstate 40. We made it to Amarillo, where we'll be spending the night.
So many eating areas along here. Places.
This is where we leave Interstate 40 for the day. Our motel is over on the other side of the highway, so we need to cross under the highway to get there.
Take the next left onto I-40 Frontage Road, East Interstate Drive. Turn right.
There's our motel on the right, the Big Texan. That's the Big Texan Steak Ranch over there on the left, which we were going to eat at, but there's an event going on, so getting a table could be difficult. Those are the motel rooms on the right, made to look like individual buildings, quite unique. The problem with this motel is that there is no reserved parking for guests. As a motel guest, you just have to park wherever you can. Since there is an event on at the steak ranch, this is proving quite difficult. After driving around a couple of times, we finally found a spot near the steak ranch. We decided to go to Cracker Barrel for dinner instead. This is our route today, driving generally east. This is the Big Texan Motel where we stayed last night. By the time we got back from having dinner at Cracker Barrel, the car park had cleared quite a lot and we could get a parking spot outside the motel. We stayed in the room on the ground floor of the Longhorn Hotel.
Take the next right toward Big Texan Road, then turn right onto Big Texan Road.
We're back on Interstate 40 and heading for Groom, Texas. I think we've seen more police in Texas than all the other states we've been to combined, which is probably a good thing. There's another one. Here's our exit for Groom. Once again, we're back on historic Route 66.
Stations around that one there must be just use the pump. One, two.
Four-lane road down there.
Yeah, it is. Isn't that weird, Philly?
In 1,000.
That's what we've come to see, the Leaning Tower, which is what Groom is known for. Also sometimes called the Leaning Tower of Texas.
Let's go the other side around so the sun's on
Yeah, kind of feels like it.
We'll continue on the frontage road for a while before rejoining Interstate 40. We've now entered a jungle of wind turbines.
In a quarter mile, slide left.
Now back onto Interstate 40. Here's our exit for McLean, Texas. And once again, it's back on historic Route 66.
Street.
Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that the old shops there. Wow, looks good.
We saw some old shops in a side street, so I did a U-turn to go back. What I didn't realise is that this is a one-way street.
Is that? Oh, it's one way.
So I just pulled off the road and drove through the empty land to get to the street.
Is there any driveway? Oh yeah, you can go down. Yeah, sweet. Good one, honey. Well, we'll drive it. Son.
In 500 feet.
Hey,
turn
Young and
right
Hart,
onto
pull in here
2nd
to take a
Street.
photo. I'll just...
Okay, what do
Too
you...
late, don't worry about it, let's go. The Velvet TP.
Now let's continue on to our original destination, the Texas Route 66 Museum. It's actually two museums in one. The Devil's Rope Museum, which is about barbed wire, and the Route 66 Museum, which is the reason we came here. Both are included in the entry fee. The Barbed Wire Museum isn't of all that much interest to us, but since it's included, we may as well have a look around. We bumped into John Wayne once again. He seems to be quite a common theme of our trip. While I was looking around, I came across this display about barbed wire in Australia. So many different types of barbed wire. Now let's head into the Route 66 Museum. The Barbed Wire Museum is much bigger than the Route 66 Museum, but it's still worth having a look in this one.
Head south on Kingsley Street toward
Let's
Railroad
keep going.
Street East, then turn left onto I-40 Business Loop East. In a quarter mile, take the I-40 East ramp on the left to Shamrock.
This is quite confusing as to how to get onto Interstate 40.
Hard to work these things out.
I know. It's scary.
Continue on I-40 East for 17 miles.
It's not very clear at all.
Not too far down the highway, we take the exit for Shamrock.
Do they have enough?
We're passing a truck carrying a wind turbine blade. We passed quite a few of these over the course of our road trip. Coming up on the left is our next stop, the Conoco Tower Station, and you drop in.
Your destination is on the left.
Oh, look at the Tesla things.
Right.
First, a visit to the gift shop. When Elvis visited, this is where he sat. After having a milkshake, I went outside for a look around. We're just going to drive around the building before we get on our way.
Turn left onto US 83 South, North Main Street. Turn left onto US 83 South, North Main Street.
We're heading in the wrong direction, so we need to do a U-turn.
God.
Turn left onto US 83 South, North Main Street.
We'll be driving south for a while as we make our way towards Euless. There aren't many towns in this part of the state, so finding somewhere to stop for lunch was proving a bit difficult.
Look at this funny building on the left.
Eventually, we come to a town called Chillicothe. It has a Dairy Queen, so that'll have to do.
Oh, let's see what they've got for food, for lunch. Lone Star Grain, that's what it says up there.
After lunch, it's express back to Euless. Our epic road trip has almost come to an end. Now we're driving through Wichita Falls. Not far to go now. After driving about 6,000 miles, almost 10,000 kilometres, we've arrived back in Euless.
Your destination is on the left.
Today, we generally travel southeast to end our 15-day road trip. This final map shows our total 15-day Great Plains road trip journey.